And yes, the castle's just right over here. Also, what is this? It looks like a cave of some sort right next to the blue castle. What is this? A skep. I got that right next door to the blue castle. We have a situation around here. This is the Sliver Dungeon, isn't it? So you intend to just storm the hive and hope for the best? We tried that before, but so it didn't work. Anyway, I could be of use to deal with the slivers. If their queen could be neutralized, the sliver won't be a problem anymore. Sadly, we don't have a brave volunteer who is willing to enter the hive and deal with the queen. New piece of armor if I can defeat the queen. I believe that's the armor of the Hive Lord. I'd get like 1 extra starting life, and I'd be able to, from there on out, have 1 extra card in my starting hand. If I got that piece of armor. I mean, I would know because I already got that in a prior playthrough. Oh yes, I do already own a Shadow Spear. This is just soldiers and... Okay, there's an assassin. Nobles. Bird Noble. Let me see some more. Fire Lord Zuko, and it's like the... How much is this, like, extremely rare, like, collector's... I think it's collector booster only, this variant of Fire Lord Zuko. Yeah, like the full art. I don't remember the exact name of the treatment of this, like, art style, this foiling. But yeah, I remember, like, these would be going for, like, thousands. They're, like, by far the rarest variants of, like, the main Avatar Last Airbender characters, and I think they're collector booster exclusives. So funny just to see this, and they're selling it for the same price as all the other rares. So yeah, Fire Lord Zuko. What is the exact name of that variant that I'm thinking of is, like, worth thousands? Okay, apparently it's worth, like, $400 to $500. I thought it was worth a lot more. I was, like, sure this was worth way more. And, like, the typical, like, the main, like, the normal version of the card costs, like, you can probably get one for, like, 50 cents. But yeah, the full art textless one. I guess that's what we'll just call it that. That's the one that's worth a ridiculous amount of money. If I had to guess, it's probably collector booster exclusive. Yeah, ever since, like, the collector boosters became a thing, like, Wizards have kind of just been, like, locking some of the coolest, rarest, like, variants of cards specifically behind collector boosters, so you have to pay a premium to even be able to, I don't know, attempt to pull one. Okay, do all of these cards have something to do with the Monarch? Looks like they do. And then this, I guess, just has Monarch in the name, so I guess it counts. Slivers. Being sold at the Sliver Hive. The horse looks at you with disinterest. Was it looking at me with disinterest the last time? Did it always do that? Many mouths to feed, little time for small talk. I said I was gonna do the Blue Castle. And I kind of just have to stop to appreciate that full art textless Fire Lord Zuko. That looks like... Does that look like a Lord of Atlantis or something? Archmage. What am I saying? So yeah, as with every enemy in the Blue Castle, every time I have anything aside from a land come into play, it's gonna have a stun counter on it, so it would tap, and then the next time it would be supposed to untap as normal, it doesn't. For every single non-land card that I play. Okay. Just want to see what that did. That also has a stun counter on it, assuming it ever, like, taps down and needs to untap to function, which I don't believe it does. Okay, gonna spend 2 mana to put this 1 mana card back into my hand. So if this gets tapped, will not untap as normal during my next untap step. Except he has Vigilance. Didn't see my 3rd land, but what I'm gonna do is probably Skull Clamp, and this is gonna make 1/1 fairy tokens. I can just clamp these to draw extra cards and be much more likely to actually find my 3rd land. Return another target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. He's gonna choose. Send who's back to my hand then. Okay, not just my 3rd land, but that's my 3rd color too. I'll put Skull Clamp back onto the field. So that's not gonna untap as normal next turn, but that is fine. Snapcaster Mage. Flashing back. I guess Cyclonic Rift, but with not enough mana to actually recast the thing. So nothing really comes of it. I'll just turn that fairy token into 2 more cards. Something else that's gonna let me draw an extra card every turn. I'll Blight onto the Tree Folk. He has, like, still 3 toughness to lose. Oh, I'm gonna bounce something else back to my hand. Sure. Okay, only non-legendary creatures that works against. Could have maybe waited till I actually played some other cards. Since I will have to discard, but I'm perfectly fine with discarding this, honestly. Perfectly fine with that. Flying. Still. Gonna fly over his creatures. Blight onto the Gnarlbark. It still has 2 toughness to lose. Oh, 2 cards to discard. Pitch an extra land. When Baron enters, return up to 1 other target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. Alright, for the 3rd time, this is gonna get put back in my hand, it looks like. 3rd or 2nd time. I will just destroy this enchantment. I might as well just... I'll just get rid of that, I guess. Deploy a Psychic Frog. And then again, just attack with my flying creature here. Oh, just gonna pass. I'm good with that. Counterspell. Another counterspell! I'll just put this on the board in response, I guess. I'll put another creature on the board in that case. Exile 3 cards from my graveyard to give the frog flying until end of turn. We'll blight onto that. Time Warp. So he is gonna get an extra turn. Not enough mana to throw this at it to stop it. Evacuation, return all creatures to their owner's hands. And then, yeah, he did spend all his mana to do that. Okay, Recurring Nightmare. To revive Overlord the Mistmoors, and we'll have to sacrifice that, that's fine. Yeah, at that point, I guess I'll just be ending the turn. Counterspell. And attack with everybody. Oh, Snapcaster Mage can... Oh, it can chump block the Overlord the Mistmoors. Flashback target evacuation, but not actually be able to cast it. Can't pay the 5 mana to recast it, though. Yeah, just to show you I can win just fine without my commander. It's just gonna take noticeably longer. Unsurprisingly, that's gonna go back to my hand. I still have, like, all these flying guys. Okay, I'm gonna get him to 1 point of life. Okay, that's a creature, so negate won't actually stop it. Let's try this one more time. Attack with a bunch of flying creatures. There we go. Not even needing to cast the commander to do all that. I'll keep the Cyclonic Rift and I'll keep the Time Warp. Oh, what is this? Like a giant squid or something? Oh, Brain Maw. I completely forgot about this guy. Let's give this hand a go. Play that as a land. I can't even attempt to cycle that right now anyways. Each opponent mills 8 cards. Okay, is this a mill deck I'm playing against? Because if so, the fact that I have like a 100-card deck... If I have like a 100-card deck, this won't be so bad. And even better yet... Okay, assuming I end up with something absolutely massive like Griselbrand in my graveyard, I can just revive it, like, doing like 1 fewer steps. That's like 1 less step I actually have to do. If he just mills something like Griselbrand into my graveyard, then I don't even have to go through the trouble of finding it and then discarding it. Like, it's just there in the graveyard. Every time I cast a spell, now I mill 2. Why don't I just tutor for it directly? And then Rafine attacking will just let me discard it. Why don't I just do that? And now, like, yeah, 4th turn we already have Griselbrand on the field. So that's already on our field now. Creatures can attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each attacking creature. I'm gonna Vanishing Verse this. Make just Griselbrand attack for 7. Negate. Whenever you cast a blue spell, target player... Okay, another mill card. In response, I'll just draw 7. I guess this will be the only thing that attacks. I'll just make some spirit tokens in the meantime. Might as well make a few spirits. Discard. Okay, 2 cards. Each opponent mills 14 cards. So yeah. Just seeing what's in my graveyard at this point. I am curious what's in there. I'll just attack with every creature that I have. And just win long before I run out of cards in the deck. If I actually want to play a mill deck myself, if I wanted to, that would be a reasonably good commander to play. If an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill twice that many cards instead. I'll just probably sell all the cards back. Oh, who is this? Oh, the Storm Titan. That's who this is. Let's get my swamp and then pass. Okay, all those other giants and wizards in his hand are gonna have Ward 1 when they come down. I'll have to keep that in mind. I'll have to pay an extra 1 to target it with anything. Oh, hello there, physicist. Welcome back. Okay, now I have 2 things that can just revive something from the graveyard. You saw my Twitter posts, plural, about that one SMW Central staff member, and yeah, they just made like a follow-up to their stance against generative AI. I think they said like a year or 2 ago they already came up with some pretty clear like guidelines against AI-generated content. Yeah, someone who is not exactly welcome in the community. her like sort of post sort of falls on deaf ears for me, to some degree. I mean, I'm sure there's good intentions with not wanting AI-generated content to dilute the SMW community and, like, the stuff that human talent can create. It's just, I'm never gonna be able to, like, I'm just never gonna be able to, like, forget that sort of, like, reputation that, well, at least the way I see it. I just see, like, a bunch of woke leftists complaining. That is gonna get countered, yes. It probably shouldn't come off as complaining to me, but it does. But yeah, ideally, you don't use AI to create art. Maybe you use it... Okay, anyways, what am I saying? Maybe you do use it to some degree. I mean, ideally, I don't want people really just using AI to pretty much 100% do the thing for them, because at that point, it's not them making the artwork anymore. But she was also, like, crashing out over... Yeah, she was also complaining about people using AI to help learn SMW hacking. Best she could do is really just advise people not to do it and argue as to why, but... How are you supposed to realistically, like, I don't think you can enforce this. So, this isn't something you can enforce, and I believe she's very much aware of that. Yeah, it is outright impossible to enforce, like, not going to a chatbot to ask for help. Only way you get caught is if you just admit that you did it. And if anything, I'd prefer that you at least admit that you do it, because at that point, at least you're being honest. If you admit to using a chatbot to create some art for you, at least you're being honest, you're not trying to deceive people. I would be more willing to get behind that if people just at least be honest about their usage of AI if they do. Just not try and pass it off as something they didn't create themselves. I'm all for asking for help, but don't use it to do everything for you. Exactly. Because at that point, I can't even necessarily say it's like your art anymore. Pretty much every time I like did something, pretty much every time I AI generate something and post it on my Twitter, like I say like, yeah, AI generated and it was like this AI model that made it for me. And sometimes I also like post the like source image I use as reference to basically use to either like animate or just edit it or something. Yeah, so for example, I do this AI post, like quote unquote AI generated. I used Grok to make this. I didn't animate this myself. Yeah, if anything, being punished, having your work removed, well, whatever portion of the work is yours if you just use AI to do some of it for you, having that removed because you went to ask AI for help and you wanted to be honest, you wanted to just honestly state that you did that, then you get punished for it. Of course, that's going to like just deter people from actually like being honest about like whether or not they use that. If anything, if somebody wants to use generative AI to help themselves out, they're gonna like not want to say so. I would much prefer if you did at least be honest about how you use it. If it's a creature card, you may reveal the top card of your library, put it into your hand, and put a quest counter on Quest for Ula's Temple. What does this do again when it hits... Okay, when it hits 3 or more at the beginning of each end step, you may put a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Sea Serpent creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Alright, can I just keep dealing with, like, whatever cards might be in his hand? Mana Drain! Well, yeah, my card's getting countered. And he gets 3 mana to do whatever with, extra. So I'm already staring down a Hullbreaker Horror. I'm thinking it might be wise just to remove it immediately before it starts to actually become a problem. Exile target creature you don't control. That's the only one I can target. You were more critical of the fact that they can't enforce against people using AI. I don't even think it's that. I think it's just I'm really biased against anything like the staff on SMW Central say these days, even if they have some like sincere merit to it. Okay, that is a creature. We're just gonna pass here in case I need to counter something. Unfortunately, I can't. These only hit non-creatures. If I had 1 extra black mana, I could just drop this before things really get out of hand, but unfortunately that's not the case. Let's see if he just blocks with the Spawning Kraken. I lose my creature, but Scout Clamp's gonna like trigger when this dies, I draw 2. Or do I just wait for maybe one more creature to come down? Because I can at least tank 7 damage. And still probably be okay. Maybe wait for 1 or 2 more creatures to come down and then just nuke the board. Okay, when this dies, it's gonna drop behind a fish token. When that dies, it's gonna make a 6/6 blue whale. And then when that dies, it becomes a 9/9 blue. Okay, and then that's on the field. Alright, where's the damnation? Okay, I knew that was coming, though. In the meantime, I still have to do basically nothing. Spent all my mana for this. We had that come back on the field. That just came back seemingly out of nowhere. Anyway, Skull Clamp's back in my hand. Do I have a creature? So far, it doesn't look like it. I have Raffine. I'll have to wait till next turn to actually slap this onto a creature to get rid of that, or anything else. We'll see if I get one more turn, probably not. Got 1 card in his hand. Okay, I do get a turn. I'm gonna take the fish token off the field. Okay, I'm getting some life back too. I was like at what, 6 life? Kiora Best the Sea God. Negate. Is it just me, or is there always a disconnect between the top 1% of members of any community from the rest of their community? I'm pretty sure like a lot of actual like regular people in the community, not just like the top 1%, also agree with her. I mean, there are legitimate reasons to be against generative AI. There are very legitimate reasons. There are also reasons to still want to try and give it a shot anyways. How much mana did I have up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just draw an extra card. I'll just throw Actually, I'll throw Fierce Guardianship at this thing. Maybe I need to counter a creature. I do. I don't want to wait 2 turns, though, to go search for anything. I'd rather not wait. We'll just pass. That's gonna get put into his hand, right? Whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on this thing and create a... I have no idea. It's just been so difficult to really want to keep up with the latest happenings in the Super Mario community because I have to wonder how many people still absolutely hate me over there. Having a lot of people there hate you... yeah. Let's throw another counterspell at this. Kiora Best the Sea God, so it never resolves. We'll do it like that. Anything good in my graveyard I can just bring back. Nothing crazy in there just yet. Well, if I do want to just draw extra cards, which I do, so I'm going to play Recurring Nightmare anyways. Choose target creature card in my graveyard to bring back, and then sacrifice this expendable insect token. Once this becomes a creature, I'll just make more. Meanwhile, I have not even been thinking about that whatsoever. I honestly forgot, like, pretty much everything you might have accomplished in GD. Deep Sea Kraken is suspended with 9 time counters? We'll just see that, I guess, in 9 turns. Something to blight onto, this. Play a land. Right back to me. I'm trying to just see if I can win the game without even, like, doing 21 damage with my commander. I want to see if I can just win, getting the opponent's life total actually to 0, because it looks like I'm on the verge of doing that, not even needing to rely on commander damage or anything to win this. Okay, now he actually has some pretty scary creatures in the graveyard to just bring back. Except I didn't stick with the game, I know. The only problem was I didn't want to, like, I wasn't interested in continuing to play. I don't even think I can chalk it up to, like, everybody, like, constantly asking me to play their levels. I don't know exactly what made me, like, not want to continue playing, but surprisingly it wasn't that. I mean, the fact you can make your own levels in this, and we have, like, yeah, it's a really popular game. But that shouldn't be surprised. That shouldn't be surprising in the slightest. Yeah, just goes to show you I can win without the 21 commander damage. Just give me enough time to set up a board, and there we go. Let's try and win a game 2 also now, shall we? Alright, we have Living Death in our hand. Deadlocked is the 3rd and last demon level. Okay, I believe that's one I never did beat. I'm sure, like, all the demon levels that I've beaten, I would remember them. I would definitely remember them, for sure. So I want to keep my hand. I was just double-checking to make sure there were, in fact, 4 lands in here. Club Step and Theory of Everything 2. That I remember because they were like, they're some of the easiest demons, but yeah, they were the hardest levels I've beaten at least. So of course I remember them. I don't see why you need to have like 2 of these. Boomerang, return underground seed to its owner's hand. Okay. What do you mean online levels? I do believe I did some level packs. That might be like the closest thing to online levels I can think of that I did. If I want to just do like a stupid Living Death play, wait for him to play a bunch of creatures, not play any myself, and then just cast this and revive everything in my graveyard while wiping out everything he has. If I just want to do that, I'll Swamp Cycle this. So now that's in my graveyard, so when Living Death resolves, it's going to bring that back for free too. Well, once I pay the 5 mana. Not for free, what am I saying? Yeah, I have nothing that is actually applying pressure to me. There's literally nothing that's pressuring me to actually put stuff on the board at all here. Sooner or later, there might actually be some stuff coming down. Until then, do I just simply wait it out? Alright, we're gonna burn through one of his counter spells. Every Geometry Dash level that was ever made? I'm not even sure if that would be possible. Just by virtue of, yeah. Just by virtue of how many levels that must exist with how big and popular the game is, and with how pretty much anyone with just an internet connection, that's like billions of people, can just theoretically go make a level and submit it. Yeah, nobody's beating all that. I don't care how much time you have on your hands, nobody's doing all that. He's all tapped out, so I'm gonna just do the Living Death now. I'll make him lose 1 creature and I'll get these 2 out on the field. I'll finally play my commander now that I got the Living Death to go off. We're kind of just free to attack into like an empty board. Put -1/-1 counters on nothing because there are no creatures to throw counters on. Lorthos the Tidemaker. Okay, I can actually, like, see the card itself. Yeah, I want to switch back to picture view. I guess we'll leave it like this for now. Until I figure out how to switch it back. If I control a commander, I can cast the spell without paying the mana cost. And, like, just not even 1% of those are rated levels. As in levels that actually reward stars. I'll just put this back on top of his library to slow him down. Unexpectedly absent. It's still a large number of levels, of course. Don't get me wrong. I would definitely want to keep the Demonic Tutor. 2 mana, search my library for anything. Over 9,000. Just over 9,000 demon levels, you said? Okay, he's gonna... Oh, right, that's probably the same card I put on top of his library earlier. What does Cataract? Return all other non-land permanents to their owner's hands. Oh, you mean all of them? Including the Stormtide Leviathan. Hilariously enough, including that too. So everything. Well, I'll just do Palace Jailer to get rid of this thing. It's fine. Welcome back, Buzzy. I'm probably gonna be online with this for maybe another hour, and then have dinner, and then probably just offline, well, not on stream, figure out which goal I want to learn next. Definitely leaning towards Final Fantasy III. Okay, yeah, it is my turn again, and I know what I'm doing. I would be far more likely to get back into that as soon as Big 20 is done. Okay, I know 2 of the cards in his hand are Quest for Eula's Temples. Oh yeah, I really still do have to do the Graveyard, you're right. Alright, discard 2 cards. Why am I not surprised we have to, after having everything put back into our hand from the battlefield, we gotta discard stuff. Tapping out everything to play Stormtide Leviathan. I will spend far less mana to just get it back off the field. Four mana just to put it back in his hand. And we'll see that again, I guess, sooner or later. Oh yeah, because I literally just put that back into his hand, so of course. Why don't I just gain control of it for myself? I'll have to tap out all my lands to do that, but why don't I just do that? Okay, most of my creatures do fly anyways. Attack for 2. Okay, that doesn't concern me at all. I believe that's of no concern. Mana drain. I don't see why not. A second mana drain. Was that 3 mana drains all played back to back? That was 3 mana drains. Yeah, that totally was. Oh, this can't attack. Because of Stormtide Leviathan still being in play. Yeah, triple mana drain. Didn't this guy have 3 times the health I had starting out? Give or take, yes. Give or take. How much mana does he have floating? Or how much mana did he get floating? I think at least like 7 or 8, but if he has nothing to cast with it... I can taint his pact into something, and then everything is still gonna go back to its owner's hands. Except for Leviathans, Krakens, Octopuses, and Serpents, so I still have this on the field. So that is still there. I mean, he just plays a big, scary Leviathan or Kraken, and I just play something that costs less mana that just instantly gets rid of it. I'll just put a bunch of my stuff back on the board. Let's just re-establish a board presence. He's probably just gonna cast that. Never mind. I guess just wait until I do something and then cast Hullbreaker, because I know that has flash. Okay, everything that flies... This is gonna attack too, actually. Everything that can attack, well. This spell can't be countered, so... it's gonna resolve. I see, this is probably gonna block this. Oh wait, never mind, no blocks. Oh, everything... Oh. Stormtide Leviathan has Island Walk. And look at his mana base. Islands. He couldn't block. Okay, we really didn't get... Aside from the... Yeah, we got like one card, and it's not one I'd actually bother playing. It's not one I'd go through the trouble to actually play. It is surprisingly easy to just walk through this gate, even though you're not supposed to just yet. I mean, I was able to do this earlier on some of the other gates. Okay, I just saw this, just because this thing doesn't want to really leave me alone. And it's one weird looking dragonfly. I guess because it really won't want to leave me alone. I need a little bit more mana to my name to be able to cast some of this stuff. I guess attack with this in the meantime. Island! Still doesn't really look like I can cast anything for now. Except Recurring Nightmare, but what am I gonna bring back? With nothing to actually revive off of it. Just one problem, nothing to bring back yet. Grist the Hunger Tide. I'll just attack the Planeswalker. Pandemonium ambushes you, but his theme is, yeah. I remember uploading that. It's been, I think it's already been almost a year. I'm just wondering where all the insect tokens came from. March 18th, 2025? It has already almost been a year. I wasn't kidding. I'll take 6 damage, it's fine. Does that have reach? Doesn't look like it or anything. So there we go. Okay, this was the town that had the Ultimate Masters booster draft going. Let me save my game. I think I'll play one of these also. I think I'll play a booster draft as well. Okay, they have Ancient Tomb. They're offering Ancient Tomb. Add 2 colorless, but this land deals 2 damage to you. So we're being offered that. First pack, if we want to just take it. Gamble. Search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then discard a card at random. It's really not that hard to get a creature card into my graveyard, so we'll take that. Vexing Devil. Buried Alive. Because I'm just trying to get creatures into my graveyard and just cheat them out, so I'll take the Buried Alive. There's another one being offered. Chances are I might have heard it already, just didn't actually know the name of it. Okay, that's just a solid, all-around solid piece of removal right there. Slippery Bogle. Exile target card from a graveyard, that's all it really does. Doesn't really do much, it looks like, for limited at least. Four mana counterspell. Or discard an island card and another card instead of paying the 4 mana. I'm fine taking another one of these. Sacrifice Apprentice Necromancer. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature gains haste at the beginning of the next end step. Sacrifice it. So it brings it back for 1 turn. When Slum Reaper enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. I just wish it didn't cost 4 mana, though. Probably only really gonna work out if my opponent only has like one good creature on their board at any given moment. Alright, if I want to put stuff into my graveyard from the top of my deck. Ooh, 1/1/1 counter on a creature. Once we get to, like, yeah, the last couple of cards in the pack, it's just slim pickings. Pattern of Rebirth, Fiend Hunter. Artisan of Kozilek. Let me just see the rest of the contents of the pack, if you don't mind me. I would need to have a lot of creatures with power 1 or less to justify running this. Apparently I already do have some if I actually want to play them. Okay, I do have a land that can make 2 mana, so there's a chance I could end up casting this. Do I just literally also take some white cards because I'm seeing some better cards on white right now than I am the other 2 colors I was actually paying attention to? Oh, Maelstrom Pulse, wow. Black and green, though. If I win all 3 games, I just get to keep everything I take, so I would just anyways get to keep this for later. Phyrexian Tower, sacrifice a creature, add 2 black. If I need another land that can make 2 mana, instead of just 1, to help me power out that Artisan of Kozilek I took earlier. Or I just grab something that can just kill any creature. I'll just take the land because it's a rare. I don't think I need to copy my lands that badly. I don't think that's necessary. Kozilek, Butcher of Truth. Am I realistically going to be getting to 10 mana, though, is the problem. But if I do get the 10 mana, cast this, probably just running away with the game at that point. Let's have some fun. Entomb! We're getting all kinds of the Reanimator, like, put cards from your deck into your graveyard. We're getting all kinds of the staples right now. But by the end of this, am I even going to have a good deck that can actually function, is the question. But by the time this is done, I'm not even sure if I'm going to have a functioning deck. I need to focus on cards that can, I don't know, actually perform in Limited. I kind of need to really build my deck around being able to consistently reach 10 mana quickly. As opposed to just, I don't know, slowly playing 1 land per turn. No, and a Noble Hierarch. We're seeing like so many banger cards in these packs. And a Liliana of the Veil. I'm definitely gonna play that in my... Another Noble Hierarch. A Murderous Redcap. I'll pick that up. Don't need to take a second Noble Hierarch. Discard a card to make this thing gain flying until end of turn. Enchanted creature is flying. When this comes in, draw 2 cards. Hexproof and Prowess. It's still, yeah, dies pretty easily in combat, even for 5 mana. 5 mana, hexproof, but it still dies easily in combat, unfortunately. Counter target spell unless this controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard. What if I have trouble getting cards in my graveyard, despite the fact I've picked up a Buried Alive and a Sultai Skullkeeper? Then what? I'll just take another creature instead. If you draw a card while the library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. In Limited though, if you can't just build your deck around this, I don't think it's gonna happen. You need to build around that. In Limited, you can't really do that. Return X target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. If I end up discarding this, then I can just cast it for 3 mana instead of 5. Mark of the Vampire gives something +2/+2 on lifelink. In Limited, this is okay. I think it's only really viable in Limited. I guess you'd play it. Nothing too exciting, but in Limited, I guess you'd at least play it. Alright, can I make a deck that can actually function somewhat decently? Moment of truth. Can we actually make a functional deck? Let's get this down to 40 cards. And I'm gonna just try and stay on 2 colors to keep things simple. Just to lower the risk I have the wrong combination of lands and spells. Just by doing that, I'm already down to 50 cards. I really want to just slam this down and just win a game with it. But what if I don't last long enough to get to 10 mana, then we'll never play it? What if that doesn't even happen? I feel like this is gonna underperform, so I'm taking it out. I don't really think I need to go after lands that badly, so that'll be taken out too. Something's telling me this is probably also gonna underperform. Maybe take one of the 4 drops out. Actually, maybe I'll... Do I take this out, or do I take out... I think that'll go. I mean, if my opponent has like a full board of creatures, then I'm paying 4 mana and getting... At worst case scenario, if they have like 6 or more creatures, literally nothing for it. That would be, though, an absolute worst case scenario. If I could just control the board to some extent, even this coming in as a 4/4 or 5/5 ain't that bad. Best case scenario, yeah, 6/6 for 4 mana. We'll just try this and hope for the best. see if that can actually, I don't know, function. I'm trying to just see how I can get this back to like just showing the pictures instead of just like the view that looks like this. $10 mana. Maybe there's a slim chance we can actually play it. If we can't, then so be it. Remove a -1/-1 counter from Wicker Bow Elder to destroy target artifact or enchantment. How about I just kill it while it's a 3/3? Okay, so that is now a 4/4. 5/5 until end of turn. Alright, so ideally we would want to get rid of this as soon as possible. At least I can gain a bit of life no matter what. Okay, both creatures are dead. Wait, my opponent seriously drafted 2 of these? They drafted 2. I might not actually be here for long. Seven power, 6 toughness. This one really might not last long at all. Ooh, I can make them sacrifice 1 creature. I'll just block. I can bring some creature cards back. I'm just seeing how many we can bring back. Can I just bring back like 4? Because I can. There are 4, so let's bring them back. Each player has to discard a card now. I believe I just die here anyways. Okay, I can do some blocking. Okay, now I gotta worry about that too. Of course, they can just sacrifice one of their 1/1s. Keep. Alright, so that's gonna come in as a 5/5. +1/+1 counter. Okay, I see. I'll just make him sacrifice his creature. Okay, the Wicker Bough Elder again. I'll attack like this. I'll pass the turn. Okay, we still have to do, yeah, game 3. That went so much better than the first one. I got one of these down as a 5/5, and the opponent didn't have an out to it. Yeah, a bunch of good creatures coming down already. I'll just pass. Okay, surprised that another creature didn't just come down. Okay. That's gonna come in as a 4/4 this time. Okay, here's the Sublime Archangel again. Alright, so I guess that's coming back. Unless my opponent is stupid enough to block, and I have a combat trick here to just sort of save myself. Elumbra. I'll make my opponent sacrifice a creature. Oh, okay. Now I've got to deal with a 4/4 Trampler here. Yeah, because that can just buy itself back into my hand for 3. So yeah, we'll do that. I'll just discard it. I can just bring it back into my hand again. Make my opponent actually lose cards while not really losing anything myself. Okay, got some removal if I want to use it. Each player discards. I discard nothing because they didn't have anything. Okay, when that dies at 3 colorless. I'll make my opponent sacrifice a creature. Which will honestly, yeah, barely impact the board at all. So we actually got through one round. Surprisingly. Let's try this. I keep drawing Kozilek, and even with 5 lands in my hand, it's still probably I'm probably still not likely going to be anywhere close to, I don't know, casting this thing. Especially if that can just start attacking me, starting from the second turn onward. Alright, I'm kind of just waiting for something I can actually cast. Now I need to have a creature card in my graveyard. Surprisingly enough, I don't even have this. I didn't play a single card all game. Of course I'm gonna lose. I literally didn't cast a single thing. Unsurprisingly, that was horrible. Okay, there's the Root Walla again. This time I actually have a creature to just actually protect me. It's not much, but it's... well, now I don't anymore. Had a creature. Okay, so you're telling me I can't cast anything just yet. Maybe later. Swamp. Murderous Redcap. It's gonna do 2 damage to the Root Walla. I'll make my opponent just sacrifice their creature. Target player sacrifices. Okay, that's a 2/2. I'll just cast this too. Now we both have to sacrifice something. Make each player discard a card. Oh, Madness 0. Just gonna cast the Basking Root Walla anyways. Ghoulsteed. I guess I'll attack. No blocks. Each player discards a card. Both attacking Lily. Murderous Redcap is gonna block the Ghoulsteed. Okay, that more or less fucks up everything I was gonna go for. That pretty much completely ruined everything I wanted to go for on that. Don't have my Planeswalker anymore. Now I don't really got much of anything, to be honest. Now I got, like, barely anything to work with, like, period. So we're pretty much all in top deck mode at this point. I'll block this zombie token. Okay, I can bring something back from the graveyard. Any creature from the graveyard, and turns out there really ain't much. There's not a whole lot. Everything is absolutely everything is gonna swing. Literally everything's attacking. Just so the Ghoulsteed won't do 4 damage to me. gonna bring the red cap back. Select any target to do damage to. Let's take the zombie token off the field. Then I'll just play a Stitched Drake. Can now just sit on that too. Alright, that's one less creature he's got to work with. He's just gonna pay some mana to pump this if I target it, so... 1 damage to the face. Okay, I have to sacrifice a creature. That's only 4 damage, right? 1, 2... I'm just 1 mana shy of even casting this. Do I just lose no matter what I do? If I leave the creatures up the block, I think that's my best bet. If I attack with anything, do I just lose? I think I do. He has 2 cards in his hand. I can last gasp something away. But does it really matter? He's got a 5/5. This is not my position to be attacking. And I'm absolutely 100% forced to block. Alright, there goes any hope of casting this. There goes any hope of winning. Yeah, I should have known playing Kozilek was a mistake. With no serious plan to actually ramp into it. Should have known that was a mistake. I still have 2 booster packs I can open though, so let's do that. Desolate Lighthouse is my rare. Nothing in here I'm excited about keeping, to be honest. I already own a Treasure Cruise. I think I'll hold on to this. And not even really care about the rest. Have I been up here? There's a chance I might have been already up there. Let's just see. Yeah, just poke around there, see what may be going on. So yeah, I didn't win Entomb, I didn't win Buried Alive. So many cool cards I just simply failed to win entirely. Okay, that's the Wan Shi Tong that people are playing in competitive. Yeah, that's the one that's seeing a lot of competitive play across many formats. When Wan Shi Tong enters, put X, +1/+1 counters on him, then draw half X cards rounded down. Whenever an opponent searches their library, put a +1/+1 counter on him and draw a card. Is my opponent necessarily going to be searching their library, though? Depends. Okay, I already own Time Warp, though. I guess if for some reason I want another. I could buy that Circular Logic, but no thanks. Yeah, I'm just gonna casually pass up that expropriate. Wow. Oh, we could draft... Wait, there's only 4 players? 4 players, matches played as best of 3. The set is so mid, only 4 people want to play it instead of 8. Even in this universe, people hate Spider-Man? The magic set? Is it so unpopular even in this universe that they have trouble finding people to play it? Starfield vocalist. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability, of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time? I have another deck I want to play this in. Brazen Borrower. I probably just want to throw this into any blue deck I can. So we're gonna grab that too. How many times am I gonna see this, the infamous, like, this racist card? How many times are we gonna see that? The quote-unquote racist card. I already own that. There's 2 for sale. Don't know why I'd buy 2, and since I'm playing Commander. Okay, that would be funny, in a deck full of flying creatures. 5 mana is still a little bit steep though, but that would be hilarious to actually play that. That too can be your commander. Yes, that can be your commander too. Just play a bunch of instants and sorceries. I guess even some cards with Miracle, because you can just fix the top card of your library with this easily. Magic 2015. That's already like more than 10 years old. I remember actually being around to actually draft that. And now it's like over 10 years old. Where is the time gone? That was pretty much the first time I got to sit down with like the new card frame. Archon of Cruelty. Can't wait to cheat this into play again. Slivers you control have double strike and haste. If I want to play a sliver deck, yeah, I'd be really excited to play that. Even if it even has affinity for slivers. You could easily get away with casting that for far less than 6 mana. I guess if the double strike and haste and isn't tempting enough. Sorin of House Markov. Okay, yeah, it's 2 colors on the back. White and black on the back. I could play it if I wanted to. Eventually I can just, once I have enough loyalty on Sorin on the backside, I can just gain control of a creature. Maybe there'd be another deck I'd end up playing that in. Booster packs for sale. And there's Zendikar, which I know can have the enemy colored fetch lands in it. Masters Edition 1. I want to see what kind of cool stuff we can get out of that. And I'll pick up a booster pack from a Masters set. I'll pick up another one of those. Yeah, 5 booster packs it is. Oh, just let me guess. I guess let me just open these and see what we get from them. I just want to see a fetch land here. Can't be countered in trample. Okay, but yeah, it's not exceptionally good. Not really good enough to make the cut in any of my decks, though. Interesting. Oubliette. I have plenty of other removal options, so I don't think we need to play that. Walking Wall can attack as though it didn't have Defender if you pay 3 and make it a +3/-1. Fortress is not what it seems. Oh, Sylvan Library in the rare slot. I'll take that any day. And yeah, 0 mana, and then just draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Also gonna keep the Bauble. Let me crack open the other Masters Edition booster. If I want to play a Toughness Matters deck, I'm gonna keep this for sure. Singing Tree. Target attacking creature's power becomes 0 until end of turn. A second copy of Sylvan Library. You can't make this up. Alright, Modern Masters it is then. Lotus Bloom. Black Lotus, we gotta wait 3 turns for it. Maybe we could do something fancy with it. Maybe. Oh hey, it's Death Denied again. I like the Kitchen Finks. This was probably one of my favorite green-white cards back in the day, so I'm gonna keep it. Get some of our money back there. I still have some more towns I want to just go look at. What fortress was that again? What was in there again? Can't even remember. Oh, I already have Fierce Guardianship, though. I don't have Mystic Confluence, that may be very playable. I like the flexibility on this thing, but I don't like the fact it costs 5 mana. Yet I still grabbed it regardless. More booster packs for sale, including 2 Zendikar ones, which I'll just buy. I want to see another rare that's not Sylvan Library out of my Masters Edition booster I just picked up. I guess 2 more Master Editions and 2 more Zendikars it is. I'll keep High Tide if I ever want to do that combo. Vesuvan Doppelganger. I feel like I can do better than this for my rare. I believe we can do better than that. More lightning bolts, even though I already own lightning bolts. Black Knight. And the rare, Martin Stromgald. Yeah, if I could just assemble like a critical mass of creatures and I'm playing a red deck, this could hit for a lot. Oh, I'm gonna open these two. Hellkite Charger. So, nope, no fetch land. Also, nope, no fetch land. Apparently there's a town right on the river. May or may not have visited it, though. Let's see. I'll just buy that for some other deck. Counter target artifact, creature, or planeswalker spell for 1 blue mana. If I don't mind giving my opponent a 2/2 bird that flies. Didn't really feel like ripping open any more boosters anyways right now. Probably just gonna call it here for now.